What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Dylan Matthews back at it again with another hometown take. Today, I am talking about, of course, the Atlanta Hawks. You already know, and how their name is surfacing, and it looks like we know what path we're going to go down when it comes to that number 6 overall draft pick. Reports have come out today. There was an article and also a very reliable source in the NBA, Mark Stein, tweeted out that, quote, the Hawks have emerged as a potential trade destination for New Orleans' Jrue Holiday in a multi-team trade scenarios that would involve Atlanta's number 6 overall pick in next week's draft, league sources say, end quote. Mark Stein, obviously, you guys know, a very, very reliable source, verified on Twitter. Not saying that means anything really, but we've heard Mark Stein, we've seen him on ESPN and all that stuff. Very reliable source is the point. And in that radio.com article was created. Radio.com, you know, sports radio nights on the game who I work for, we're a radio.com station, so they are very reliable. They just was talking about other trade destinations or other potential trade partners for the Atlanta Hawks and their number 6 overall pick. So Jrue Holiday seems as the lead candidate right now, but Kevin O'Donnell from The Ringer has also reported Wednesday morning that the Minnesota Timberwolves, who currently, we know, hold the number 1 overall pick, are wanting to acquire a second lottery pick and have also been in talks with Atlanta. Now, I was talking about this in the live last week, almost a whole week ago, last Thursday it was, about Minnesota possibly, you know, trading with Atlanta. Again, we already have that report when we traded for Jeff Teague and Travion Graham and sent off Alan Crabb and some other guys to Minnesota last year. So we have that report, and I was talking about, you know, we could trade maybe John Collins to get the number 1 overall pick. And, you know, we get back Malik Beasley. You guys blew up my comments and said, no, that ain't happening. They ain't giving up Malik Beasley, and we shouldn't give up John Collins just to give the number 1 overall pick. Okay, that's fine. That was just a scenario. I'm just saying, okay? But, so now it's looking like we could still, you know, be in trade talks with Minnesota, but the other way around, they want to, obviously they're not trying to give up the number 1 overall pick. They're trying to keep that and add on a second lottery pick. So trying to put some young talent around D'Angelo Russell, Karl Anthony Towns, and Malik Beasley as well. So this deal with Minnesota could include the Timberwolves' number 6 overall pick last year in Jarrett Culver and the Hawks' 17th overall pick. Jarrett Culver, as we know, was a sought-after guy for the Atlanta Hawks last year. Obviously, we ended up going with DeAndre Hunter at number 4 and Cam Reddish at number 8 or 10, I believe it was. So that could be something that could happen. Jarrett Culver, not a bad dude, a guy who is still developing, coming out of his rookie season, averaged 9.2 points per game, about an assist and steal, about 3 rebounds per game. So a good 3-and-D guy who would fit the mold for what this Atlanta Hawks team is trying to do. Get somebody who can come in now and help and contribute. He would add some depth to this Atlanta Hawk roster, but also he would fit the young core, fit this young future that the Atlanta Hawks have. So he wouldn't be a guy that would just be on the team for a season or two and then leave. No, he could fit if he does his job and he shows out during this time for the Atlanta Hawks. If this trade does happen, he could sign long-term to the Atlanta Hawks and be a part of this Hawks future for the foreseeable future. So that's something that could happen in Minnesota. And I'll keep touching on the Jrue Holiday trade scenario here in a minute. But also, the Boston Celtics and the Atlanta Hawks have been in trade talks as well. Boston could be trying to acquire the Hawks' number 6 overall pick. We know how much the Boston Celtics love to rack up draft picks, man. They love getting draft picks. So they're trying to get the number 6 overall pick. So could we possibly see a guy like Gordon Hayward, whose name has been swirled around in trade talks? Could we see a guy like that come to Atlanta? Because let's just be honest, guys. You know, I'm always keeping a buck with you on this here YouTube channel, on this here hometown thing. Gordon Hayward got lost in Boston. Gordon Hayward is in a situation where there's too many mouths to feed around him. Too many people have been productive around him, and it's no shade to Gordon Hayward. He still can be a productive player, but he just hasn't been healthy. So he hasn't been fitting the mold, hasn't been fitting the team in Boston because he just hasn't been around and he hasn't been on the floor. So we got Kemba Walker, obviously, who has, you know, to get his offensive numbers. We got Jason Tatum, who looks like the star, obviously the best player on this team, on the Boston Celtics team, that is. He got to get his numbers, and he's going to get his numbers. Jaylen Brown, the duo, kind of Robin, if you will, to Jason Tatum. He gonna get his numbers. Marcus Smart gonna shoot up his threes, get his numbers as well. So Gordon Hayward, it just might not be enough room for your brother in Boston. But you can come to Atlanta and bring your talents, and we could use you. You take a lot of talent, a lot of pressure off of Trae Young, and also, you could space the floor, knock down a three. You can get your own shot. We could use you, Gordon. We could see when Gordon Hayward had that great season in Utah, which is why the Boston Celtics signed him. We could see that Gordon Hayward again in Atlanta. Getting that high usage out of him, getting that production out of him. We could see that in Atlanta. He'd get a fresh start. He would get definitely more time with the ball in his hands than he did in Boston. And hopefully, if he stays healthy, like I said, we can see that Gordon Hayward that we saw his final year in Utah. And that would be nasty. Him, Trae Young, Cam Reddish, hopefully John Collins too. So there's a lot of different ways the Atlanta Hawks could go in with this number 6 overall pick. We could keep it, draft Isaac Okoro, get another 3-and-D guy, add even more depth to this team, and he could be a part of the foreseeable future for the Atlanta Hawks. We could possibly trade up and try to get a franchise-changing player in Anthony Edwards, whoever, or we could trade back and get some more assets, maybe pile up some more draft picks. But it looks like this Atlanta Hawks team is trying to go all in for the playoffs this year. It looks like the playoff teams could be expanded even more as well. So this Atlanta Hawks team, we've heard Lloyd Pierce say it, that the goal is to make the playoffs this year. And he believes this team is a playoff team. Trae Young says and believes the same thing. So it looks like they're going all in the playoffs, and they're going to go the route of trying to trade this pick for a veteran such as Jrue Holiday and try to really make the playoffs and make a playoff run. So let's go ahead and touch on Jrue Holiday before I get out of here, guys. I had to give y'all a video, though, real quick. So Jrue Holiday averaged 19.1 points per game this season. In 61 games last season, had averaged about, I think, 6.4 rebounds as well. 6.4 assists, 6.7 assists. Let me give him that 0.3 assists, okay? And 4.8 rebounds. So Jrue Holiday, yes, he has the numbers, but he will bring a great veteran presence to this Atlanta Hawks team. Has playoff experience. He has been there before. He's been battle tested in big playoff games. Also, he would be great in the backcourt with Trae Young. For one, yes, they could play at the same time, and they would play at the same time if we do, in fact, acquire Jrue Holiday. He can play the two. Trae Young wants to play a little off ball as well, but I think Jrue Holiday would play mostly the two. He can go get his own shot. He's a playmaker. He can shoot the three. He can score at volume, but he can also facilitate. So he can play that point guard slot. Him and Trae Young can have a back and forth game. He can run the pick and roll. Jrue Holiday can. He can run it with John Collins. He can run it with Clint Capella. So it would be the ultimate fit. So that either they can be on the floor at the same time, they could be on the floor at separate times, and we would still have a great point guard on the court at all times. So I love the idea of Jrue Holiday coming to the Atlanta Hawks. So let's get something done, Atlanta Hawks. It looks like something is definitely in the works. The Hawks are talking. They're working. I know Travis Schlenk, my GM, not going to let us down. We got trust in Schlenk. So it looks like the Atlanta Hawks are headed down a good direction. Like I said, this is a team that needs to be in the playoffs this season. We got to get our young core of Trae Young, of John Collins, of Cam Reddish. And I don't know who's going to be in the trade, so I'm not going to say necessarily DeAndre Hunter and Kevin Huerter, but one of them is probably going to stay on the team as well. We got to get this young core in the playoffs, get them battle tested, get them some playoff experience now, because just to keep it 100 with y'all again, I'm always keeping it a buck with y'all here. All right. While LeBron is in the league, we ain't winning a championship. But LeBron ain't got too many more years in the league, and the Hawks got plenty of years in the league. So while LeBron and them in the league, we still need to get our playoff experience. So when LeBron and them old heads get out, we can get in and get some rings, baby. All right. So that's why it's important for me, and that's why I've been driving home so hard. This Atlanta Hawks team has to make the playoffs this year and get some playoff experience moving for the next couple of seasons forward. Okay. So I'm loving what the direction the Hawks are going, and I think we are going to be, actually, I'm not even going to say that. I know I'm putting into existence. We are going to be a playoff team next year, point blank, period. Okay. So tell me what you guys think. Tell me what do you think the Atlanta Hawks are going to do with the number 6 overall pick? Like I said, it's looking like we're going to trade it, but do you think we are going to keep it and maybe draft somebody, just throw everybody for a loop? Do you think we are going to try to trade up and get a guy like Anthony Edwards? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. And so, yeah, it's looking good, guys. I'm fired up. And yes, I'm going live for draft night. So, November 18th, make sure you are on this channel. I'm going to give you guys everything, all the updates, everything like that for draft night. So, you can catch everything here on draft night. So, tune into the channel. I'm going live, baby. Yeah. So, until I talk to you guys next time, peace.